Hello, welcome back to Triple Threat Analysis. I am Nick. I am back this week. I don't appreciate my priorities being questioned last week, but I am here with David and Glenn as always. How are y'all doing, boys?
We're
Good,
good. It's good
man.
to be back. We're all back.
We're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Finally.
over
It's nice
just
to all
over
be
2
here.
weeks away from Mania. It
Yeah.
doesn't it feels crazy that it's already almost WrestleMania, but here we are. Let's just get right into it, boys. You all picked some topics from last week's Raw and Smackdowns. Let's just get into it. What do you want to start with, David?
Yeah, so my first moment, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. I got one from SmackDown and one from Raw. So I'm gonna start out with my SmackDown moments, since obviously SmackDown happened first. And I wanted to talk about what was a mess of a promo between Jade and her little bunch, between Michin and B-Fab, and then Rhea, obviously, just their entire interaction while they were talking before the match between Rhea and B-Fab was just them talking over each other. They kept jumping in. It just felt so messy. There was nothing behind it. Like, it just really kept kind of proving the point of like, maybe it is time to just put the title on Rhea, put it on the big dog, put it on the big catch, and like just let her go with it, because Jade on her own, Jade with these other people, like it's just really not working. And it just seems like it's been tougher to make it build when we know what Rhea can do, and we're still like, okay, Jade, come on, let's go.
Yeah. I know this is kind of like I've been saying it the whole time. Like this is how every interaction for them has felt for me at least. You know, it's like I haven't felt really anything about any of their promos or interactions yet. Right? Like I'm excited for the match just because it's going to be a good match because of the physicality of both of them. But the buildup has not been gotten me into the story at all. What about you, Glenn? What do you think?
The first one was great. When they first met for the first time, I was hyped. I was excited. And then they brought these two knuckleheads, and I understand that you have to do something. I wasn't expecting them to come in. So I was shocked when I was like, oh, snap, okay. But what they've done with it since is like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So you have no idea what they're going to do. It just hasn't been what I thought it was going to be after the first one. We still got, a week and a half? Maybe something crazy happens where we can get rebuilt for it. But as of right now, it's like a D in terms of the build-up after the first one, which I thought was an A, and now we've gotten a D since.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they've slowly taken steps back, like in
Yeah.
terms of build-up, because, and I know, Nick, you mentioned it, like you haven't been the biggest fan, but Glenn and I talked about it a good amount last week, where like we both really like this build so far. We feel like it's going to be a good match, but this week is definitely the first week where I truly felt like they definitely took a step back in the build. And maybe there's a little bit more to blame on Meechin and BFAB, because they're just not used to that high level promos and stuff like that. And then talking over each other and just making it seem as messy as it was. But
By the way,
yeah,
I meant knuckleheads in the nicest way possible. Not that they're actually knuckleheads, because I know sometimes they just be watching stuff. Just not knuckleheads, just like random people in general. You know what I mean? So there we go. I just got to clear that up before anything.
Yeah. During the whole promo, you could tell that Rhea was like upset and getting
yeah,
frustrated by how it was going, and just at the end of it, just took over and got
yeah.
it where it needed to be. But like the whole time, like you can definitely tell, like even before this, like you can tell that Rhea is just like a step above Jade, really in every aspect, right? Like obviously Jade has the physical look and she's gotten better in her ability, but Rhea still clears her in pretty much everything. And so in my opinion, like I mean, like I said, I don't think they've done a good job of building it, at least to where I would be excited for it. Because it's still just been like, I'm more muscular than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, or whatever, which is, it's good, but there's no depth to the story at all. It's just, I'm that bitch every week back and forth between the two of them. So, like I said, I am excited for the match, but just because of the actual physicality of it. Any more to say about Rhea and Jade?
You got a
Sure.
SmackDown moment, Nick, or
No, I mean, oh yeah, I mean, I do, but we'll save that for after you, Glenn.
are we gonna have Cody? Okay, all right. So I'll do mine then. We'll do each two SmackDown. Julia finally does something where you're like, hey, maybe she's going to get a push. She won't. But at least you have the thought in your head with the Tiffy thing that maybe she's finally going to get the push that everyone wanted. Not me, by the way. We're allowed to say we're not fans of people. And that's not that I'm not a fan of her. Because WWE did such a bad job the first time of getting me excited for her, I'm not excited now. So even if she gets this big push, I'm just like, eh. Like, what's the biggest thing she could possibly do? She has such a higher ceiling because she already had that ceiling. So that's who everyone kind of wants. We're kind of just like, well, it's not Julia's time. You already had the time to do it and you didn't do it. So now it's too late. But again, I didn't want to talk about that moment to say that maybe this is the push for her for those that actually enjoy Julia, and maybe she proves us all wrong and goes crazy and just starts talking some crazy English/Japanese promos. I don't know, but yeah, that's just the thing I wanted to talk about because it was something that I wasn't expecting. I expected Tiffy to win. I expected Tiffy to just take the belt, and already, by the way, and it didn't happen. Julia has it. We don't know what the hell's going on with what's her name, Kaya James. She had that big elimination chamber thing, and now she's by her side again and not doing anything. So hey, I don't know what's going on with that, but maybe something happens at WrestleMania. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, like I've been pretty. Every time we've talked about Julia, like I'm not. I don't get it. You know, I get her in ring work, but as far as like it, I just don't connect with Julia at all. And like, I definitely, if we do end up like with a long term like Tiffy and Julia feud, I definitely don't want Julia to go over in the feud, at least right now. But what about you, Dave?
I mean, yeah, and like I've kind of been the opposite all along. Like I really like the way, they built her in NXT, and like obviously, and we've talked about it, Nick, like you don't watch NXT as much, so you didn't get to see
Yeah,
that side of Julia. And like I saw her a little bit like on the indies and stuff before that even. But like the way they built her in NXT should have been the exact way they built her when they called her up to the main roster. But we've seen that with countless men and women superstars who get called up to the main roster. And I don't want to say wasted because that's not the right word, but they change their gimmick or they change the way they're being used or they put them into a different scene with different people and it just doesn't work the same way. And I think with Julia, that is the perfect case because in NXT, it worked. People liked her. She had a big following. She had a lot of people that were like, yes, let's go, Julia. And you're right. Now she made it to the main roster, and it's just kind of like, all right, cool. Julia's on the screen. Like, here we go. And I think you're right. That has
yeah,
made a lot of people like, all right, put the belt on Tiffy. Like, and I do think that putting the belt on Tiffy would do it like a lot, like they did with the IC title on Raw, putting it on Becky Lynch. Like, you put it on that elevated name, and it just immediately elevates the title that little bit more, where it can have a
yeah.
little bit more meaning. They can have better matches with it. And obviously, we know Tiffy carried the women's title already, so I think she can carry a US title just fine.
Before we
Yeah.
go, this is something that's just like not whatever, but it was something that I just want to talk about quick. I do what David said. This is something that just hit me. NXT ruins a lot of people because they get such pops in NXT. NXT loves these guys, no matter who it is. Everyone that comes to the Full Sail Arena gets cheered. They all get their names chanted, and then they come up to the main roster and they're like, "Everyone's gonna love me." Everyone was chanting my name in NXT. Then they come and they get absolutely no pop the entire time. They're like, "What the hell happened?" NXT is kind of like it's a better development than obviously being on the main roster because people are kind of forced to like you. Everyone in that arena likes everybody basically, no matter who you are. And then they
Yeah.
come. So I'm not saying that has to change, but props to NXT fans for making everyone just seem like a superstar.
Yeah, I think part of that might also be that WWE doesn't really do a good job of showcasing NXT talent before they get called up to the main roster.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of crossover between the two until they're already up. And outside of like a couple times a year, I mean last year it was really only at Saturday Night's Main Event as when Cena retired that we saw
Yeah.
NXT talent and evolution for the women, but other than that, we didn't see NXT talent until they got called up. So if WWE did a better job of like crossing over, then in getting to know these people like on the main roster, because I mean I think a majority of people are kind of like me and don't really watch NXT, and they just watch Raw and SmackDown every week. So if
They
we
used
had
to do
more
it
of the time,
reverse more. They used to do
yeah,
like remember Cesaro used to go back to NXT.
Yeah.
hmm
All the I mean Charlotte used to go down to it used to be like instead of bringing them up, we'll bring the superstars down so that
To
yeah,
make the people
they're
tune
still in their
in.
home element, and you
Yeah.
get to experience of facing someone that was already there. So they used to do
yeah,
that, but I do agree with you that sometimes they need to bring the NXT guy up just to see what it's like on the main
yeah.
roster before you bring them up full time. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
I think having the NXT guys come up to Raw and SmackDown every now and then is better than having established stars go down to NXT because I don't like, even if like, Cody Rhodes is gonna be on NXT next week, like I'm not gonna go watch NXT, but I'm gonna watch Raw and SmackDown every week. So
Right.
I think
Yeah.
like if they brought them up to Raw and SmackDown every now and then it would definitely ease their transition up to the main roster whenever they do get called and they'll have bigger
And I think
pops.
yeah, and I think another thing you talked about too, that like, they came up a little bit on the Evolution pay-per-view. They came up a little bit on that one Saturday night's main event. I think like if WWE were able to find a way to just dedicate one pay-per-view every year to being like, okay, here's Randy Orton versus Ethan Page. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
here's Cody Rhodes. I mean, Cody Rhodes versus Oba was great. You know what I mean? Obviously Oba's
Yeah.
on the main roster now, but like if we can get more stuff like that, or like you said, even just bringing them onto Raw and SmackDown more, like we've had all these open challenges with the US belt. We're having Penta doing the open challenges with the IC belt. Like
Mhm.
we know these guys are probably going to win anyways. They've been doing it against, with AAA guys on SmackDown. They've been doing it with all these,
Yeah,
like, those are spots where they should definitely be using NXT guys more to get
for
more of
sure.
the, face value with the standard WWE crowd that is only watching Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
All right, Nick,
W
talk about your stupid moment.
what do you mean my stupid it is a stupid moment. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
it's not Cody.
Why? Why is Sami Zayn the US champion? Why? It just does
You're
not make
asking the
sense
wrong
at
person.
all. I mean, I know we all have the same opinion. Like, I just wanna rant about it. Like, why?
And I like Sammy, I will add, and I
Yeah,
still
like
agree with Nick. This is
I
insane.
like Sammy as well, but like why is he involved in this at all? Like you have Trick and Mello right there.
Right there.
That is a
Right there.
WrestleMania match. That is a WrestleMania match. Sammy and Trick
And
is not a WrestleMania match.
And might I add, because we just talked about it, like Nick does not, did not, has not watched NXT. So he doesn't
Mhm.
even get the full vibe of how good Mello versus Trick truly was. And he is still even like upset that Sammy won and took that away from us.
Yeah,
Like
like
Trick
what
versus
are we
Mello was right there
doing?
for the taking. It was right. It was, I mean, they literally told us it was going to be Trick versus Mello. And then
Yeah,
Sammy had to go
like
out there and win the belt. Like they can save this by adding Mello to the match. I just don't see it happening.
yeah, like I'm so annoyed. Like it's not as of right now, it's not even a triple threat. Like it's just Sammy versus Trick. And we're not gonna get into like who we think will win, but I swear to God, if Trick does not leave WrestleMania as the United States champion, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm gonna
Listen, I
be
know this is might be selfish. As long as I hear "whoop that trick" at WrestleMania, I'm happy.
no, no,
I
no,
It's
just
no,
the
want
no.
to. I just
loudest
want to
we're
see the
ever going to hear
crowd
it.
go freaking ballistic.
We're going to hear it, but I do not like. There is no way Sami Zayn should leave WrestleMania. It's already bad enough he's going into WrestleMania. Look, I'm going to be in a hotel room for WrestleMania. If Sami Zayn wins, I am trashing the room.
Hey, don't say where you're gonna be. Don't tell nobody.
I am trashing the
send
room. I'm going to get a
send
noise complaint from the neighbors.
send money for Nick's bailout.
That's all I wanted to talk about SmackDown. It's just like, why?
I will add one more thing in there. I know I mentioned it a little bit. Adding Mello into this match and making a triple threat like would be the ideal situation. But we've been talking about it for the last month now in all these different matches. Let's add one more in there if we're just talking about fantasy booking at this point. If they are going to add any more people, let's get Ilya in and make it a fatal four
Hmm.
way because we've seen Ilya work with Sammy, with Mello. Like he's got great chemistry with those guys. I would like we complain about it when we've seen it with other people. I could watch him and Mello go at it 10 more times and I think we'd be entertained every single time. Like they've
Yeah,
been
for
able to
sure.
make it new, they've been able to make it interesting. So, if it's going to be more than Trick and Sammy and we want to, fantasy book it a little bit, I would love to see a fatal four way and have both of those guys being involved at
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
See, the most ideal situation is like add whoever you want to the match, but Sammy gets taken out at the beginning of the match and literally has no impact whatsoever in the rest of the match. Like that's all
I
I
Gets
agree.
want.
taken out by Kevin Owens. We'll
Sure,
talk
I don't
about it
give a
later. We'll talk about it later. Talk about it later.
I don't care as long as Sami Zayn does not impact the finish of this match at all.
Unless he's the one getting pinned.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
he's getting pinned.
Yeah. All
Kill
right.
him at the beginning of the match, leave him on the outside of the ring. They can fight for 20 minutes, and then they just drag his dead body into the middle of the ring and pin him just for the fun of it. All right. Anyways, all right, let's move on. What do you have next, David?
So my moment from Raw, as I talked about, I had one from each. So my moment from Raw, I'm sticking with the women's division again, though. It's gonna be Liv and Stephanie's little back and forth from this week on Raw. Obviously, Liv opened up. She came out and just kind of right away just fired shots at Stephanie, talking about her mom.
Poop
Really making it
Madre.
feel right. Really making it
Mm-hmm.
feel really personal again, like a lot of these feuds have been doing. And which, might I say, at the same time, is starting to feel a little like they're all kind of looping together just because they are using the same kind of lines. But bringing up her mom, doing all the stuff, making it personal. But the one thing I did really want to point out about it, which again, it's just kind of a heel tactic thing, so I get it. But Liv's big thing before Stephanie came out was like, "Oh, you're scared. You keep having to attack me from behind. You can't do it. Blah, blah. You keep saying I'm hiding behind my family and this and that." And then as soon as Stephanie comes out and gets the upper hand on Liv, there comes Roxanne, and Liv is back to hiding
Mm-hmm.
behind her family and doing all
Yeah.
this stuff. So like she kind of is proving Stephanie right, but that's the way a heel works in WWE. Like they're gonna use those heel tactics. They're gonna do those things. So I get it, but it was just funny to like here's Liv saying all these things, and then 2 minutes later, like, well, Stephanie's right. You're doing all those things right now. But I still think it was a good back and forth. I'm really excited for this match. It's definitely the highest excitement for all the women's matches that I have right now.
For sure. What do you think, Glenn?
Agree. I don't got not much to add to that. I thought just that Stephanie is. First of all, what were those pants? I know I talk about her pants every week, but she had underwear on, like the underwear outline on the outside
Yeah,
of the. What the hell is
my
going
sister
on with these
commented on
pants?
that
Just
too.
Well, then
yeah,
She was like
the
wearing the
straps
thong on the
came off.
outside of it. Yeah,
yeah.
She had to
I don't know what
well,
the hell that was about.
pull out of the
it was
straps.
weird. Are we gonna
All
do it?
three women in the ring: Roxy, Liv,
And
and Stephanie. Though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll add right away. Like I love that Roxanne is back. Like anytime she's on my TV, I'm a happy man. So I love that
Do we
Roxanne
need
Perez is
to
back already.
start a Stephanie pants tracker every week for you, Glenn?
And
Yeah,
keep a
bro.
counter in the corner.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the first thing I look at every time. I don't care about the song. I don't care about what she's doing. I just look.
Pants.
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. Like this definitely furthered the feud along more than it has been in the last couple of weeks. And especially, 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, it definitely helped up the excitement for the match. Definitely a lot more personal than it was. All right. What do you got next, Glenn?
I did. I told you guys about my moment, but I'm gonna talk about something else. Let's talk about Jelly Roll, real quick. Let's just that's the title, Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's a beast in the outside of wrestling. He's lost like 300. Props to Jelly Roll in every aspect of what he does. I love Jelly Roll. If you give me someone that right now in the music industry that I would like, if I had a kid, I'd say, hey, this is who you look up to, Jelly Roll, from where he came from to where he is now. Props to him. With that being said, I don't understand how he's the biggest part of the damn show. Like, what is going on, Jelly Roll?
Yeah.
You know it's
He's in
WrestleMania
everything.
season. You know it's WrestleMania season when freaking super stars outside of wrestling become bigger stars on the main stage. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with it. This is nothing against Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's popping and Jelly Roll's like doing this. You can tell he's been at the performance center taking hits, taking bumps, taking falls. He's not out there to be he's not trying to be the main guy. He just happens to be in all the main scenes and doing a damn good job at selling RKOs and kicks and versus Kit Wilson, and he's out there just taking a L, and it's like props to Jelly Roll, but like I don't like that he's such a big part of the show because it takes away from what we want to watch. No offense
Yeah.
to Jelly Roll. We don't want to see you 40 minutes of each show. We just don't want to do. I don't want to see
Yeah.
you in the ring, then backstage, then in the crowd, then doing. I don't want to see it. Love you, Jelly Roll, but we don't want to see that, brother. And I know it's not your fault. You're just doing what they tell you to do. But
Yeah.
like, props to him. That's all I can say. I don't want to see Kid Wilson got a W. I mean, hey, listen
No.
on SmackDown or whatever it was, and then on Raw, you just see like just Jelly Roll. I don't know. I just wanted to mention Jelly Roll. That's my big moment is Jelly
Yeah.
Roll. So
Yeah. Celebrities have always been a big part of WWE, and like I get that, but like you said, Jelly Roll, like he had 3 backstage segments on SmackDown plus a
And the
match.
match. Yeah.
And he's inserting himself into the main event of WrestleMania, right? Like the biggest pop I had watching SmackDown was watching him get RKO'd at the end of the night. Like, like I get it. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine with celebrities being involved because it is, World Wrestling Entertainment. So I'm perfectly fine with that. But there's a limit, man. And like last week when he was, telling Randy, "This isn't you. This isn't you, Randy." Like, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah, it
like he's
is.
known them
Like,
for 20 years. Like, bro,
right?
Yeah, like he's
Bro.
just another fan talking at that point.
Yeah. And also, like, last Friday, like, where did he even come from? Like, Randy and Cody are brawling, and then all of a sudden, Jelly Roll's just in the ring trying to talk sense to both of them. Like, what are you doing, bro? But yeah, like I said,
I
I'm
will
perfectly fine with celebrities, but man.
I will play devil's advocate a little bit because we talk about the internet wrestling community, the IWC, a lot every week. Glenn likes to bring them up. And the biggest thing that I've seen from them about Jelly Roll, obviously a lot of them agree with what you guys are talking about, but their biggest complaint is that Jelly Roll was the focus of that Randy and Cody like feud back and forth on Friday night. And like to me at least, that's just not the way I viewed it. Like, yeah, he was definitely a focal point of it. Like he was a big point, but like I still don't think he was the biggest point of it. Like him taking that RKO was just a statement of like, hey, Randy is that guy again. Like he doesn't give a shit who you are. He's gonna RKO you. He's gonna put you in the ground. He's gonna punch you if you give him the chance to. You know what I mean? Like
it
I think
probably
it
says
was
more about how boring or not boring. It probably says more about how irrelevant the scene became. That Jelly Roll became the main focus. Is
yeah.
probably what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
Like it
and like
wasn't like WWE didn't say, "Hey, Jelly Roll, you're gonna be the biggest thing." It just happened to be that because it was so like meh.
but it also brings up the
Yeah.
point that like you guys are making, like the celebrities on the way. Like, yeah, I agree. He definitely like especially this past SmackDown, he had way too much TV time. But I mean, I think, if it was Speed out there, if it was whoever out there, celebrity wise, like it was going to get that same amount of talk just because it's a celebrity involved in, like Nick said, one of the main events of WrestleMania. And
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll bring up speed too.
we just had the terrible experience with Travis Scott. So
Yeah. A little bit, like, more with Jelly, like, I can understand him talking to Randy, like, cause, they tagged at, SummerSlam, like, they do have a
we were there.
history there. But then, like, he's back there talking to Rhea, talking about, like, "I know you can do it, like, go out
Yeah.
there," and then talking to Priest, like, "Congratulations," like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Like,
What
I don't know,
interaction has he
man.
had with any of these people to have that sort of
Right?
like
Like, I don't know, man. But, yeah, I mean, and then do y'all think we're heading towards a Jelly Roll WrestleMania match, or you think it ends, like, his involvement ends here?
it certainly seems that way, but with the way the WrestleMania card is filling up, I don't know if they have space for him anymore.
I mean, they said they
No
wanted
pun intended.
16 matches. Like, like to get 16 matches is a lot. So it kind of feels like you got to have a Jelly Roll WrestleMania match if you want to get to 16.
I mean, if they're already adding speed onto the card and they're gonna have 2 celebrity matches, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't
Can
know,
we talk
man.
about speed real quick?
Yeah,
What
Of
sure.
in
Let's
the?
go
course.
for it.
I know speed is
No, I got
him and Kai Cenat, the two most popular streamers in the world. I get that. WWE wants ratings. WWE wants to bring in that demographic. I understand. From business, WWE is a genius from a business standpoint. What is happening? Why is Speed punching? Yo, LA Knight. Oh my God, this guy. What? LA Knight has taken so many L's since he's been back. Everyone's talking about, hey, well, LA Knight comes back. This guy might win the Rumble. This guy might do this. This guy's gonna have the belt. This guy, he's gotten, he's he's busted his ass in the Elimination Chamber, got kicked in the nuts, came back and messed up an ambulance drive, and that's what he's doing. He's driving an ambulance away the entire show. Then he came back the next day and fell again and lost again. Then Jay Uso punched him in his face, and now Speed punches him with brass knuckles in his face when he doesn't mean to. What in the hell is going?
Yeah.
I don't know if
You
it's
know what's
about
going
Speed or
on.
LA Knight, but I'm just ranting about both right now. What is happening?
You know what's going on with speed. You are cursed.
Curse.
And speed's been
You sure
living it
LA Knight's not cursed? LA Knight's probably fucking cursed because what is
ever
going on?
but ever since
LA
Speed
Knight's
had
cursed
that
by Triple
backstage
H.
interaction with Danhausen, he's been talking about, flights being delayed, flights being canceled, all that stuff. He comes back to Raw. He gets unwillingly dragged into the area to where they're all fighting. He slides the brass knucks on. LA Knight gets punched in the face. And yet, like Logan Paul's like, oh, you got enemies now. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna attack you. They're gonna this. Like, and he's just, you can see, like, I will give Speed credit. He's character wise, he's playing it really well because he's back there just like, I don't want to do this. I didn't
Yeah.
ask for this. I didn't want to be a part of this. Like, let me just get out of here real quick. I think it's part of playing Danhausen's curse really perfectly while also using it on a celebrity like Speed who can keep us entertained, who can give us that viral moment that's going to have 25, 30, 40, 50 million views in 48 hours. Between him and Logan Paul being in the same ring, if it does end up being some sort of 6-man tag or something like that, like
Which is what it's really
they're
about, yeah, for
they're
sure.
they're getting the eyes on the product for sure.
Yeah. Thinking about it now, I think I'm actually more annoyed with, like, the involvement that Speed had than I am with Jelly Roll. Like, because
100%
Jelly was just
Yeah,
talking to people. Speed actually, like,
affected a
impacted a
match.
title match.
affected a title match.
Yeah, he affected a title match, and the title changed hands because of him. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
Him
but
getting speared by Braun, amazing.
yeah,
yeah,
Him knuckle punching LA Knight, who just can't get a break, and then, which I never understood how Speed brass knuckling LA Knight would affect the match. By the way, that happened on the outside of the ring. Didn't have anything to do with what was going on in the ring. So I don't know how they try to twist it that Speed affected the match. But hey, I'm whatever. It is what it is. But like, my only concern is what does it lead to, which we'll talk about. Obviously, that's not for this, but I just I don't understand the buildup. This just kind of came out of nowhere. That I know Speed was going to have something to do, but I didn't know he was going to affect the title match that had nothing to do with. Like, just crazy to me. And but this is WrestleMania season. This is what happens. Well, I don't know why we're shocked. I'm shocked. I just don't know why I'm shocked because it's always happened. So it is what it is.
I was hoping like the Speed involvement like wouldn't go this route. It would go more of like a Speed Danhausen match at WrestleMania when like if he
yeah.
wins he gets uncursed. Like I would have much preferred that, and like we still might end up getting something
Something
along
like
those
that. Yeah.
lines. But I do think like Danhausen needs something to do at WrestleMania, like
Nah,
something impactful, or not impactful, but like something like I don't know.
he's
Hey,
gonna curse
Cena's the
somebody. They'll
host.
lose.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Hey, Cena has been posting a bunch about Danhausen since he
That's what I'm
Yeah,
debuted.
saying.
yeah.
Cena loves Danhausen.
He's gonna have an interaction with him for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be hilarious. Do we have anything else we want to talk about Raw or SmackDown?
Oh, let's move on.
I mean, Cody and Orton. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Cody and Orton had that little thing.
we're gonna
Just for
get
those
to
that
the
don't watch Raw and SmackDown, that like watch
yeah.
reviews and stuff because you
All right,
don't,
let's talk
whatever.
about the main events. The main event was pretty much the same for both shows. Um,
Yeah.
but Randy had a match with Matt Cardona, won. Cody came back, and then they fought, and it ended with Jelly Roll taking an RKO. The funniest thing about this is like we watched Cody walk from his bus to the ring, and it took him like 5 minutes. Like when his bus showed up, there was literally like 12 minutes left in the show, and he got to the ring with like 5 minutes left.
I
Yeah.
chanted
So
Goldberg. It was that
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, it was crazy. But like, so in my opinion, like it didn't really further anything. Like, yeah, Cody tried to come back, get his lick back. It didn't really further anything in their feud for me, at least. And I also don't really understand Cardona's involvement in this. I mean, I do like they're trying to show that Randy is, listening to the voices or whatever, but I don't know, it kind of seems like a filler to me.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And then over on Raw, we had Roman come out, start to talk, and then Punk just comes out, attacks him. He gets the better of Roman this week, and yeah. I mean, y'all want to talk about that? I mean, like neither of those really furthered anything in either instance for me, at least.
The only thing I
Yeah, I
want to
mean,
talk about that is you realize that fans don't know which way to go in the Punk Roman thing. Every week it's different. Every
Yeah,
week it's like half and half. Um, which goes to show you that it's gonna be great because the crowd is gonna be chanting both names whenever they do have their match at
mhm.
WrestleMania, and
yeah,
all the next week and a half going up to it. And it's like no one's a favorite. It's a 50-50 coin toss for everything for that match. You don't know what's gonna. So I'm happy that the build up. What I'll say about the build up is that it really doesn't matter what happens before. You were already gonna be excited for that match.
right.
You're already pumped. You don't have a favorite per se. Like I don't like CM Punk at all. So obviously my favorite's gonna be Roman. But even so, I'm excited to, see what happens and stuff like that. So like, I just wanted to say that no one know like in the Randy Cody thing, I think it's a little different. I think everyone's mostly on Randy's side.
Yeah,
And this match is like, I don't know. The crowd does not know who to cheer for. So that's gonna be interesting. I like that they're building it that way where it's like you get the benefit one week, you get the benefit the next week, you get this. They're not giving the edge to nobody. It's like it's good. This is a good build up, even though it's not what we want in terms of like crazy stuff happening. No one's getting the edge. 50-50. That's the best way to head into
yeah,
WrestleMania, in
for
my
sure.
opinion.
Yeah,
I will say,
I don't
like,
even think it's really 50-50 in the crowd. Like I think it's more of it's the same people chanting for both of them. But, the same
yeah.
people like have their ones up chanting OTC, and then 5 seconds later, they're it's clobbering time singing Cult of Personalities. I think it's great.
No, and I definitely like the thing with Roman and Punk specifically, I guess that I'll touch on real quick is, a couple weeks ago we were talking, like we were asking for, we wanted them to get physical. We wanted them to have more of like a not violent interaction, but just them fighting and them, having that interaction,
Mhm.
but not at all building on any of the really personal lines that they threw at it. You know what I mean? Like Roman never really got super personal with Punk, but like Punk told
Yeah,
him he was going to bury him next to his father, and they just kind of let it go. Like, yeah, they keep having the Usos come out and like being upset about it, but like Roman hasn't brought it back up. Roman hasn't like even Roman, like when he talked about, no, I chose you because I hate you. Like
yeah.
they're not going back to that personal stuff now. It's just like, okay, let's watch them brawl for 5 minutes to end Raw.
You're
Like
old.
it's kind of another one of those where it's like I'm gonna be excited no matter what because it's Roman
Yeah,
Reigns versus CM Punk. But this buildup that they're doing week after week, like, isn't really helping my excitement level. It's just
yeah.
kind of okay. It's here because it's Roman and CM Punk, but like when they were doing those promos, getting really personal, it was kind of doing one of these, and now they got physical just like we wanted them to, but it's still doing one of these again
Yeah,
instead. So
yeah.
I
They
I
started
think it's
off
been
so
good,
hot.
but it could be better.
Yeah, they started off so hot, and then like it's hard to keep at that level. Like starting
Yeah.
with "I'm gonna bury you next to your father." Like it's hard to keep it at that level of personal.
Why? So like, I'll say like it started with Roman throwing big shots at CM Punk,
Yeah.
and like you said, saying that I can't stand you, I hate you. We brought you back for the 40-year-old virgins, not for
Yeah,
anyone that's a normal wrestling fan. He went in, and then Punk came back with "I'm gonna bury you next to your father," and then we said we wanted physicality. Well, each week one of them has thrown the other one through the announce table. So
yeah.
I feel like I've gotten everything I've wanted. Honestly,
Mhm.
I don't
I
think there's
agree.
anything. like, yeah, something could be built on the father line, but like, I don't want to spoil it, but we'll talk about it in the next episode of what we
Yep.
do. But I think there's a reason for that. And then I'm just like you say, we're excited because of who it is and what's going on, and nothing like what could have happened that would have made you more excited. Like I just genuinely like I don't think there's anything more that they could have done that would have made you even more excited for it, unless like like Roman literally hit CM Punk in the head with a baseball bat and like really like something crazy like that, which is they can't do. So I don't know. I
See,
just think they did everything they could. I'm super excited for it. I don't think there's anything else. Like I'm at a 95% excitement
yeah,
level.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I'm still super excited. I think they just kind of built this timeline of build up backwards. Like, I think Roman should have started with like the year old shit and then like gone on from there and built. I think Roman needed one more like personal attack on
Shot.
Punk.
Yeah.
Like
The
because
old one
like
didn't work.
because even like yeah he even like his only thing is like I picked you because I hate you like and that's like yeah like it was hard like the line went hard but it's
Yeah.
like yeah okay like he told you he was gonna
Yeah.
bury you next to your father and like you're coming back with it you're old like come on
Yeah.
bro like I think Roman just needed one more like personal shot at Punk like to really make cement the
To be fair, I think there was supposed to be a dog line in there somewhere, but
Yeah,
somebody
we
AJ.
talked about that
yeah
last week where, there was the rumor going around where Roman was supposed to get that last kind of personal fireball in there and somebody was uncomfortable with it
And I
being
think
yeah
brought
CM
up.
Punk
So,
actually would have attacked him. I honestly feel
yeah.
like if Roman
see
said
but
something about that dog, Roman was gonna get beat up that night, like legitly.
See, but even if Roman did bring up Larry or whatever, like I don't think that's a good enough response to "I'm gonna
Nah,
bury
bro.
you."
No,
Like,
If
that's
you know what Larry
yeah.
meant to
no, I
CM
mean,
Yeah.
Punk,
like I know he means
that's
everything
his
to
kid,
Punk,
bro. That's
but
his son. That's
I
the whole
know he
Seth
means
Rollins thing where he's
everything
talking
to
about his
Punk, but
daughter.
in the grand scheme of things, like it's Roman's father who was in the business, and we
WWE
know,
legend. Yeah.
yeah, and a dog, like, and I know the dog means a lot to Punk, and
Yeah.
like
Well,
everybody
that's
knows
all he's
Larry, but
got. He
Yeah.
talked about his wife. I
talk
mean, like,
about
what else
AJ,
can he?
bro. Like, talk about
He
He
AJ,
has though.
like.
did.
He
Well,
talked
not
he's
nothing crazy, but it
But
was nothing
not
crazy.
like not
but it's
like
all the same lines with AJ though. Like, oh, your wife's the bigger name, she's the bigger star, she's the
yeah.
bit like clearly
There
she's
could have been like I
not.
seen her whoring around in the back when you were like. There could have been some shit for
Yeah, like
sure.
I don't know, like I definitely think like I said, Roman just needed like one more like personal, like really
Yeah.
good attack against Punk, and then it would have brought the whole thing together. But
Yeah.
starting with Punk saying I'm gonna bury you next to your father, and then like moving into Roman just calling him old every week, I don't know.
Definitely pulled it
But like
back
I
a
said,
little bit.
I'm still very excited. Like I'm not,
Yeah.
the build up hasn't impacted my excitement for the match, because like David said, it is Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't talk about. What about Seth Rollins? You guys want to say anything about Seth Rollins and freaking Gun?
Gunther.
Talk about if
Yeah,
you want to talk about that.
I don't
You
know.
yell on
Like
me.
I
I don't really get it, and I think you can really tell like this is just a fact of Braun Breaker's not healthy, and that they don't have either anything for either of them to do at WrestleMania now, and so they just threw it together.
No, I like obviously like you said, Rey Mysterio's not healthy for Gunther. It seems like that was the rumored plan initially. Braun Breaker's not healthy for Seth Rollins. The rumor was he was backstage at Raw last night, but he didn't get medically cleared for until past WrestleMania. But I will say, like, I think it's making the best of a bad situation. Like, we still got to think at the end of the day, like, this is still Gunther and Seth Rollins. These are two guys where I don't think, again, this is a situation where like either of them can really afford a major loss right now. So we're going into
Yeah,
a match with two really good wrestlers, two really good entertainers who can put on a really good match, especially on a stage like WrestleMania, even if it's not for anything serious. But like having the two of them go at it to me is a lot better than not having either of them on the show at all. Like,
right,
would I have loved a better build up? Would I have loved a longer story? Would I have loved a reasoning for Gunther even coming out there and kind of helping Paul Heyman and doing all that? Like, yes, absolutely. But I'd rather have Seth Rollins and Gunther on my screen for WrestleMania than not have them on
right,
there.
for sure. Yeah, I think the only way this really grabs my attention after WrestleMania is if Gunther is a Heyman guy now. I would honestly love that if Gunther became like an actual Heyman guy, and then we'll get into this later or on our next episode, but I don't think the match ends in a pin like at all. It's going to end in a DQ, but how I don't really know. But
Last
yeah,
thing,
like
the Lesnar Oba. Let's talk about that real quick.
yeah, sure,
Just that's huge. Like that's something we have
it's
to
huge.
Okay,
mention.
so
God, you go first, David.
no, yeah, I think Lesnar Oba is like, I mean, they keep talking about it like it's going to be a main event of WrestleMania, and I
Mhm.
think if we didn't have literally our biggest names in the business going head to head for the main events, like it could be a main event, a night one main event
Yeah.
type match just because of how good, like, this has been to me the best built WrestleMania storyline thus
Yes.
far.
Yes, I agree.
Allowing Oba to look as strong as he has, which again, we talked about it last week, does scare us classic WWE fans a little bit because usually when you see people get put over like that week after week on the Raws and the SmackDowns, they don't get put over on the pay-per-view matches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Oba's looked really good. Last night he threw that security dude like 50 feet in the damn
Dude,
air. That was the most impressive thing. Like he hasn't thrown anybody that high. And that
that guy
security
needs
guard was
hazard pay.
yeah, like he got dunked. I mean, he like that guy was up there. But
Mm,
this has been great. It's super impressive. I still, again, we'll talk about it next time, but I need Oba to win this match. Like that's all
yeah.
I care about. It's been great. I'm super excited, but it can be immediately ruined, honestly, to me. Like I didn't want to say it, but I think it's true. I think all of this can be ruined if Brock Lesnar wins at WrestleMania.
See, I brought this up, a couple weeks ago we first got Oba Brock. I actually wouldn't mind Brock winning if we can set up either, a 2-part or 3-part, if we could do a trilogy with Brock and Oba, like here, SummerSlam, and then maybe build towards next WrestleMania. I think a trilogy between these two would be great. Like it would be, one of those things that we talk about all time of, these trilogy matches. And I would not be mad if Brock won and that's what we ended up getting. No, Glenn?
No. Yeah.
Not at
No.
WrestleMania. I can't.
No. Give it to
Because
Oba.
WrestleMania is just too big. It's too big of a stage. If
Yeah.
this was like Survivor Series or something, sure. At WrestleMania, you got. I just wanted to bring up one thing about Hoba. Do you guys think it's a little bit of like a joke thing where he goes like this? Like I, it makes him look a little like cartoony. And I know that's his thing. This
Nah,
has been his thing since NXT.
No, I
This
love
has
it.
been the.
I
It's
love it.
great. I love it. I just feel like for some reason when I watch it, I laugh instead of like, wow, look at this monster. I'm laughing because I see the kids are going like I don't know. It's not gonna take it away. I just
I
wanted
do
to
it.
say that. But I
I know,
love
I
it. I
do
do
too.
love it. I do love it.
Can't
I
wait
do
for him to
love
be doing it for 30 minutes on his WrestleMania entrance
it.
Oh,
Just 'cause
seriously.
down the whole ramp.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I just want to do one quick thing with y'all. I just want to get each of your favorite WrestleMania moments. We're moving into WrestleMania. What's your favorite WrestleMania moment? Glenn,
So
let's start
I'll
with you.
kick it off.
Or David.
I mean, sorry. Mine's not going to be a like moment. I mean, it is going to be a match. Mine's going to be my favorite WrestleMania match of all time, and it
Okay.
involves my favorite wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels. And this is a lot of people's answers to their favorite WrestleMania matches. But mine is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. That is obviously the popular answer. Most people
Yep.
choose that one. I do think their match at 26 was great. I think storyline wise, their match at 26 was a lot better. But the actual match itself, the build around it was still very good. The one at 25, if I were to pick one match to be able to watch and I couldn't watch any more WWE again, I think it would be Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that. What about you, Glenn?
My greatest WrestleMania moment and the greatest WrestleMania moment in the history of WrestleManias, no debate. Hulk Hogan first comes out at the Superdome, right? And
The
then what
Silverdome?
you hear is Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. And Stone Cold comes out and he's like, who wants me to put a can of whoop ass on Hulk Hogan? And then The Rock comes out. And why is that moment? Not just because I'm the biggest Hulk Hogan fan you could probably think of, but you've got the three pillars of wrestling in that ring at the same time, all looking at each other, all still breathing and alive. You say that now because of Hulk Hogan. And it's just like, man, I'm a grown ass man. I don't cry for many things, and I didn't cry for that moment, but I got one of those like man tears where I was like, "This is so great!" Like I was in there, man. So that to me the greatest moment, and you'll never have a moment where three bigger superstars. You can say wrestlers, but there won't be three bigger superstars ever to be in a wrestling ring like that moment.
Yeah, again, another moment you can't go wrong with.
Yeah.
Mine is, I mean, I got to go with the one we were in attendance for, me and Glenn. I mean, the main event of WrestleMania 40, the culmination of maybe the best build in WrestleMania history. Cody finishing the story, beating Roman, seeing the Undertaker in person, like it was just hit hard, especially being there in person. And obviously being there it makes it be biased towards it, but I just what I gotta say. Yeah. All right. Great episode, guys. We'll be back next week. Next week, we will be putting out our official WrestleMania preview episode. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like us on YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify.
Facebook,
And
Instagram,
throw us some
Facebook.
Twitter.
comments. We know you guys are watching. Just throw a even say you guys suck. I just want to see some comments. Show me who the hell's watching. Just comment on the
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah,
video. We want to see a comment.
if you made it this far, let us know what match you're most excited for at WrestleMania. Let us know maybe a prediction that you're thinking about with your match that you're most excited for at WrestleMania. And if we do get any comments like Glenn's talking about, if you've listened this late into the episode, maybe we'll just shout you out on the prediction episode.
Yeah. All right, boys. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace.